when you put your heart and soul to something, if you're doing photography for the money, it's not the right reason.
Yeah, you know, if you're doing a portrait of a couple, you're going to spend thousands of dollars on camera and lenses, and you're going to make sure the lighting is perfect. You know, take the time to remove the pimple on somebody's forehead.
Very excited to introduce our guests here tonight. I was very lucky and fortunate enough to have them agree to be on the show. We were supposed to go earlier, and it's my fault. I apologize. I went on way too long with a client, but we are here. We're in the moment, and we're ready to move forward. I can't wait for you guys to hear their story. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let me introduce to you Cassandra and David from Monroe Photography. Hey, guys, how you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
Oh, I am doing awesome. Thank you again so much for being so patient with me, and thank you so much for agreeing to be on the show. We are extremely excited to see you guys and have you guys come on and hear what you guys have to say about your photography business. You guys do wedding photography, among other things. And I would like for you, if you don't mind, I'm going to go ahead and share this out to all my groups and get the word out. But if you wouldn't mind, Cassandra and David, tell us a little bit about how you guys started, a little bit more that maybe I didn't mention in the introduction about you and your business, please.
Hello. We met. I've been a photographer for 19 years or so, and we met at a model convention. Cassandra was a model. And we became really good friends, and like 4 months later, we went on our first date. And next thing you know, we were doing a quinceañera, and she picked up my backup camera and started taking some pictures. Got home, put the pictures in the photos in the computer, and I was just like, "Wow, these photos are amazing." And I told her about that, and she was like, "Really?" And ever since then, we've just been this husband and wife team, and every shoot we do, we just kind of, she has her camera, I have my camera, and we do portrait photography and weddings, obviously quinceañeras, real estate photography, destination weddings, of course.
Oh, cool.
Anybody out there wants to get married in like Hawaii or Aruba or someplace where you're a couple.
I used to do a lot of production, shoot management, hiring the talent, coordination, posing, set design, stage design, and everything else. And I took some time off when I met David and kind of got out of the industry, was kind of done with it. Went to nursing school, became an allergy nurse, which I still am full-time, and then our photography company full-time as well. So I have my allergy patients, I've got my photography patient or clients.
Photography patients.
And I
like that, photography patients.
Yeah, new word. And every time we get to go out with our cameras together, it literally is like a mini date for us. We pick up the cameras, we're with our clients, and the whole world just seems to disappear, and it's just so much fun.
Yes. It really is. I mean, and sometimes
is he always this talkative, Cassandra?
I'm not sure. I think you bring it out in him.
I'm teasing, David. David, I'm teasing. I'm totally. Don't take anything I say seriously, David. I'm just joking.
Likewise. But yeah, we have a blast. You know, we have a lot of fun. You know, we've been known to if the couple likes us, they'll say, hey, hang out at the wedding. We've been known to dance on the dance floor when the work is done. And
awesome.
And we had a wedding a few weeks ago where it was a little bit of a drive, so it was a destination wedding, obviously. Mm-hmm. And so we got a little getaway for the weekend, just the two of us. So we left the kids at home with grandma, and then on Sunday we're like, we're only 3 hours from Medford. Let's go to In-N-Out. Let's go to the new In-N-Out.
Oh yeah.
You guys have it down in California. We don't have one here.
Nobody.
Oh wow.
Crazy In-N-Out, like as bad as it sounds like crack when you move out of California.
So
man.
It was an 8-hour drive there and back home.
Worth it. Well, you know, it's interesting because, you know, I have cousins and a lot of family that live on the East Coast, and I'm actually originally from the East Coast, but the first place they all want to go when they ever visit here in California is In-N-Out. And actually, the guy on CNN, what's that dude's name? The travel dude, Anthony Bourdain.
Yes.
He said in an interview, I'll never forget when he said this. He said, anytime I stop in LA, the very first place I go is In-N-Out. So yeah, those guys have done an amazing job. And within the context of the show, you know, talking about, we talk a lot about digital entrepreneurship and marketing and social media. You know, In-N-Out is one of those companies that they've really kind of capitalized on the idea of scarcity, because they could easily become McDonald's. I feel like they could become, but they choose not to. So that's kind of interesting how they do that. Great. Thank you for sharing that, Cassandra and David. That's awesome how you guys met. I wanted to ask you guys, because and I've got a ton of questions here, especially regarding how you guys are leveraging social media and how you guys are spreading the word and getting your business and accruing your clients. But I want to talk a little bit about the passion of photography, because you know, it obviously didn't start off as a business. You guys met and let me ask you this, where did your love of photography, how did that get started? And by the way, you guys coming in right now, I see a lot of people coming in right now. Please don't forget to comment. We're going to be asking our guests questions. I'm going to be relaying your questions. I'm monitoring the comments. Please share this out if you wouldn't mind. Sharing is caring, you know, as they say. So please share this out and get the word out, because we're going to have an amazing show. These two individuals, David and Cassandra, they're going to be rocking it and giving us some serious value. So please make sure and share this out. But I wanted to ask you guys, how did the love or the passion, because a lot of the guests, a lot of the listeners, a lot of the audience of Nez Nation, they're trying to monetize their passion. How did it all start for you guys? How did you turn your passion? Like what were perhaps some mistakes you made, or what were some things that you learned, some insights, anything like that?
You know, how it really, not how we turned it into a business.
Yeah.
Was basically as simple as I was getting a haircut. And the lady that had cut my hair for a long time, she opened up her own salon. She called me up, said, hey, you know, I have my own place. So I said, okay. So I went there and I was just talking to her, and her sister overheard that I was a photographer. And she got really excited and started talking to me about, hey, do you want to photograph quinceañeras? And what's a quinceañera? And he said, well, it's like a sweet 16, but for 15-year-olds type thing. And the format of it is almost like a little wedding. And I said, that sounds exciting. And she just, you know, got me hooked up with a couple of quinceañeras, and from there, it turned into weddings and everything else under the sun.
It takes belief and confidence in your own skills. And
Yeah.
I think for a lot of people, trying to get the belief and confidence in their own skills is a lot harder. We're the worst critics on ourselves. But when you have somebody that's behind you or next to you, and they see your artwork and they tell you, hey, you're good, you're different, and they are able to give you that peace of mind and that confidence, it kind of starts making you go, well, maybe I am, maybe I could do this. And it kind of lights that fire that was probably already there, but it launches a little bit, and then they say something, and then you've got some more confidence building other people. And I think it's just having a support system behind you. And I think that's a lot of what a lot of social media will do too. The photography networks, the Facebook groups, social media groups, the sharing.
Lots of YouTube instructional videos on how to shoot certain things, and you know, and a lot of it is confidence. You know, when we shot our first wedding, it was our first wedding, but you never would know. And we had studied so much about how to shoot a wedding and seen so many different things that when the day came, we were nervous, but when the day actually came, it was like, great. We had a lot of fun, and you know, we charged a decent price for it.
And I think too, working in the modeling profession beforehand and kind of seeing how production shoots run and stage runs, that in itself builds confidence too. But it's almost that whole expression, you want to fake it before you make it type of thing.
Yeah.
You want to, it's the confidence, it's the belief, it's the.
And one thing that that we learned too right away was that when we have clients and we're working for them, they want to be told how to pose,
Yes.
what to do. And the common maybe misconception, you might think, oh, you ask them what they want, but
Right.
more often than not, they don't know how to express what they want. So you kind of tell them what to do. And as they become more comfortable, then they start to say, well, how about this? Or how about that?
Right.
And it's kind of
It's building
relationships.
It's building it's building your client's trust, and it's getting them to not be camera shy and not to be a deer caught in the headlights, and to get them to realize that it can be fun having your picture taken, and we can laugh, and we can be cracking jokes, and some of those most candid moments are shots that weren't necessarily staged, that weren't planned, but once you get them comfortable and they know that you've got their best interest and their best look and everything else, they open up and they're actually themselves in front of the camera, and it just makes it so much more magical.
Well, you are talkative tonight.
More wine, please. More wine. Yes, that's awesome. No, that's awesome. I love the way you guys said building relationships. And David, specifically when you were talking about how, sometimes it's if in most cases it's not the clients, are looking to, put their input or always kind of dictate how things are going, but they really hire you so that you can help them articulate their vision, correct?
Yeah, exactly.
And this is what I try to tell all my clients and all my students too. And if you're new to this show, if you're new to who I am, not only am I an entrepreneur and I have a digital business, a consulting business, but I also am a writing professor. I've been in the private and the public sector. And I tell my students and clients the same thing. It's like, you got to serve them. You have to solve a problem. They're not hiring you for kicks and giggles. They don't want, and Cassandra brings up a great point that I love what you said, you can laugh, you can enjoy this, you can help them enjoy the process. I think that's essential. I'll never forget this, early on in the heyday when I hired somebody to do my website. Literally, obviously I would never call out anybody or defame anybody, but literally I couldn't believe it. Like every single time I met with this designer, they kept telling me, no, you have to tell me what you want. I'm not going to do it for you. You have to tell me what you want, and then I'll go from there. And it just seemed like there was this barrier, and I just felt immediately I was uncomfortable, and immediately I was like, well, I mean, why am I hiring you? If I'm going to, I understand that I have input and I understand, but can you at least give me something to look at, give me some templates, or give me like an idea of because I literally have no idea. And I love the way you guys said that. It's about, serving them, nurturing that relationship, going all out, communicating, using this dude, NEZNATION. I talk about this all the time, Cassandra. I'm not pointing at my tonsils, I'm pointing at my mouth. You guys have to use your mouth. You got to communicate. It is the ultimate skill set. You have to understand how to tell your story, and your business, whether you like it or not, is a story. So I love what you guys said about that. We got a lot of viewers coming in. Fantastic. Good to see you guys. If you have any questions for David and Cassandra, please let us know. We are watching. We are monitoring the comments. I have to put on my glasses because I'm old, David. Don't make fun of me.
I'm old
yes.
too.
So what do you guys think of the fact that, I want to ask you about this. What do you guys think of the fact that it seems like because of the devices and the technology now, I mean, pretty much anybody with a smartphone now thinks they're a photographer or a videographer or a video expert, so to speak. What are your thoughts on what's happening in the current kind of climate of the times and the current sort of technological space? And what are your thoughts on that and how people, yeah.
No, go. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. I'm just curious because yeah.
Well, that's a two-pronged question. So
two-prong. I'm full of two prongs. I'm full of two-prong questions.
The technology is amazing.
Yes.
Technology is amazing. I mean, I remember going to film school and shooting on film, and just starting to get into the digital age. And now with things like Photoshop and Lightroom, it's completely revolutionized
right.
the photography industry for good and for bad. On the one hand, there's a lot more competition.
Yeah.
But it is, before you know, you got what you got out of the camera, and there wasn't a whole lot you could do in the dark room. Now you could do anything.
It's awesome.
And newer technologies, like, you know, the newer Sony cameras, the mirrorless cameras, they're smaller. There's things like an electronic viewfinder where you can see exactly what the exposure is going to look like before you take the picture. It's absolutely amazing, and I just love getting in front of the computer and just, you know, adjusting the colors and doing all kinds of fun stuff. But yeah, because of that, you know, everybody's got a camera now.
Everybody.
And yeah, there are a lot of people out there that are learning photography, and that's great. What I will say though is that there are literally thousands of photographers in our area that shoot weddings and you know, all these other shoots. So you just have to make sure that you kind of stand out from the pack, if you will. It can be a lucrative business, but there is a lot of people, because of the technology is moving, you know, so fast. I mean, like you said with the cell phones, they're taking amazing photos. I
mean, you can shoot in 4K now. I mean, you don't even, it's like the not only is the accessibility, right, Cassandra? I mean, the accessibility is insane. I mean, I'm shooting a lot with my smart devices. You know, am I inclined, because my background, just a little bit about me, Cassandra and David, if you don't know, like, I originally started off as a filmmaker, you know, as a 16, 18-year-old filmmaker. You know, we were using 8mm cameras, 16mm, you know, cameras. We loved it. But the editing and oh my God, just the cost and I love what you said, David, that the digitized sort of landscape has changed all of that. And there's literally zero overhead now. I mean, practically. I mean, there's still overhead, obviously. But what I was literally talking about this recently on another stream, that it's allowed for creators to focus on what they do best, which is create. Cassandra, what do you think about that?
It leaves a lot of the decisions, not all of the decisions, because obviously shooting in auto on a Sony camera versus shooting in manual, the computer only is as smart as you tell it to be.
Oh, I love that.
And there's going to be a limit to what the computer can do. And so you've got those that can shoot on auto, and I'm not saying they don't shoot wonderful photos, and that's pretty much most of the technology that's out there with the smartphones, and they've got that computer telling them exactly how to do it. But the depth and the field and the fast-paced movements of the world, if you can't tone in and know exactly what you're shooting and get it in that split second, that whole memory, that whole experience can be lost. Furthermore, you don't think about how to back up your photos and to put them up in the cloud and to take them off the hard drive, or to have multiple SIM cards, or there's so many horror stories too.
Oh, yeah.
That too.
And I just want to say,
are you guys like me? Sorry, David, really quickly. Sorry about that. Are you guys like me? Like, have you guys had those days where it's like, holy crap, I just lost a ton of footage because I didn't do the proper backup? Knock on wood. Look at David. What are you doing, David?
You know,
you guys are the professionals. I'm the amateur, so I'm allowed those. Yeah.
Got the cloud. You know, it's the scariest part is getting it from the camera to my hard drive, and then it syncs to the cloud. Thankfully, no, we have not had.
Knock on wood. I'm knocking on wood right now.
Shot some pictures just for fun, nothing professionally. Yeah. Oh no, I accidentally deleted them, but you know, you live and learn.
Yeah.
And also another reason too, it's good to have two photographers.
Hello.
And especially a husband and wife that know, and they're working together and they've shot together, is that you've got that extra set of photos too, and that they're insured, and you want to make sure that they're professionals. You've got insurance, you've got the contract, you've got everything. But yeah, there are so many horror stories, and it's scary.
But that's what's great about technology. I mean, back in the day, shooting on film, you accidentally look.
Oh my gosh, you exposed it to light. What are you doing? Shut that. You know, it's like insane how many mistakes we made when we were young, dumb, and I'm still young and dumb, but you know, You're right. I mean, it's a great point. And I tell all my students, everybody who's watching, I say it every stream practically. I truly believe, Cassandra and David, that we're living in the greatest era of all time. Like, I really, with all my heart, feel like the opportunity for creators to focus on creating, that the technical barriers, and I love what you said, Cassandra, even though they have all the autofocus and the auto lighting and you are still the composition of the shot, right? The angle, right? The time of day, right? The settings, right? Like your specific vision and authority, like that still has a huge bearing. So it's, you know, I always feel, I'm sure you guys, I wonder if you guys get this all the time. Like people are like, oh, anybody can be a photographer, man. I got a good, hey man, I got a good eye. I can take shots. And they're like, really? Really?
Yeah. I've had people say, you know, oh, wow, that's a really nice camera. I'm sure you get some great photos. And sometimes I'm tempted to say, well, here you go. Why don't you take some photos?
Yeah.
You know, what I think people need to remember is that the camera is just a tool.
There it is.
Yeah, it's a cool hammer. It's a really great hammer, but still you got to learn how to use the hammer, you know?
Beautiful.
You've got to learn how to use the tool, you know?
I love it.
I've seen some people with some entry-level cameras take pictures that I sit there and go, wow, I hope I could shoot like that someday. And then I've seen people with the most expensive cameras, the most expensive lenses, and it's like, wow. You know, it's just, it's all about learning and a willing to learn, and you can we'll never sit there and go, we're the best and we're going to stop learning.
Yeah.
We're always looking at new stuff.
We're critiquing ourselves, or we're looking at other photographers' work.
And we're just like, wow. And when we see other photographers we really like, it's like, okay, we're going to become friends with them on Facebook and you know,
network with them and learn something. And
that's awesome.
Forward. I mean, technology too, like you're saying, it allows West Coast photographers to chat in real time with East Coast photographers, to share the pictures, to explore the world and meet all these wonderful photographers and see their landscapes and their colors and look at the settings and what cameras and lenses, but also learn where these photographers came from and what their passions are and how they were inspired to take a certain shot. There
is some amazing photographers coming out of Russia. Amazing.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, you know, and India, and also we've got some friends in Australia. So yeah, it's like you said, it's amazing this network, this worldwide network.
I mean, even Cassandra. I mean, just Cassandra. When we first got introduced to each other, I mean, this is what I mean. 90% of the people I've interviewed on NEZNATION Live, honestly, I could say, yeah, like with all honesty, 90% of the people that I've interviewed on NEZNATION Live that I've forged relationships with, they all came through social. They all came through the internet. I mean, I've never met Cassandra and David in person. I already feel like we're like brother and sister. We've already kind of built a rapport. I literally, before we went live, NEZNATION, we're laughing it up, having fun. I was, late coming on, I was dealing with a client and they were so understanding, so humble. And I think you guys can tell why they're successful. I truly feel, Cassandra and David, I love the way that you guys said sharing and networking and how you reach out to other photographers, and maybe talk a little bit about that, because I always felt like competition. Yeah, there's competition, right? But it doesn't mean it has to be cutthroat, right? I mean, if competition can inspire you, but like, how do you guys view that? Like, obviously saturation is something that's been talked about a lot. You've got platforms like Instagram that are mostly photographically based, so to speak. I think video is becoming the predominant form of communication in the 21st century. I think video is going to just keep growing and dominating because of all the technology. But what are your thoughts on that? Because you guys seem to be flourishing by partnering with these people rather than being like, hey, we want to be, forget them, we want to be better than them, or that sort of cutthroat vibe. How do you guys navigate that? Because obviously there's millions and millions of photographers out there. Do you guys mind talking a little bit about that?
Sure. I mean, you can't learn and you can't flourish unless you have a community that you can learn from. And the best way to get better at our trade, and I think the main thing is we're very passionate about photography. We're very passionate about taking care of our clients. And if we wanted to be wrote with other photographers, at a certain stage, that whole community of photographers would be cut off to us. Nobody would want to talk to us. Nobody would want to work with us. We would never look or learn from anybody, and you lose so much valuable information. For us to say that we're the best, we know everything in photography, is just kicking ourselves in the behinds, because we'll never know everything. We'll never be the best. There's always somebody going to be better than us. But if we can follow in their shadow, or we can learn from them, even a brand new photographer that just got their camera, they might pick it up and say, wow, did you know about this feature? And I was reading the book, and look at this picture I took. And we might be like, huh? And we might look at our, oh my gosh, it is
I didn't know
there.
we could do that.
I was like, I know,
What?
Yeah. And also too, just real quick, that also too, you know, I mean, it's nice to have people to share with, because let's say somebody's getting married, and a day that we already have a wedding, well, you know, hey, you know, so-and-so photography company, and you know, maybe they can help you out, and it's nice to share.
Yeah.
And just getting back real quick to one of the reasons why we started this business, if I may.
Yes, absolutely. This is your show, brother.
our wedding, and I can't believe we forgot this, because we're always talking about this to our clients, but on our wedding, we had a family member.
By the way, how long have you guys been married? Do you mind if I ask?
We've been married 10 years this year. This will be a 10th.
Oh, this year.
Yeah, November.
Congratulations, dude. That's awesome. Congratulations, Cassandra. That's awesome. 10 years. The dime. Isn't there a name for that? Like the diamond or some crap like that? I don't know. What's the anniversary?
I think diamond's like 50. I don't know.
I have no idea.
But
that's cool.
Was going to shoot video of the ceremony, and you know, ceremony's going along, and I happen to look over, and I'm like thinking to myself, why is he not holding the video camera? and that kind of always stuck in my head, that we don't want anybody else to really have to deal with that situation, because it was a bummer, because these are moments that you don't get again. Well, I mean,
yeah.
But you know, you don't get that again. And if you don't have somebody taking your photos or shooting video, or both preferably, then these moments they're in your mind, but it's not the same as to be able to look and see something with your eyes, or share it with somebody, or share it with your grandkids. So we did that, and that's kind of how we've built our network of a lot of other vendors that we work with, because a wedding is all about teamwork. It's not just photographers, it's the caterer, it's the DJ, it's the coordinator, it's all these people coming together that make the event magical. It's the location, it's the
florist.
The florist, and we like to have people that we know we work well together, but they're also reliable, because that's important.
And they believe in the same type of ethics as we do, the golden rule ethics. Treat others as you want to be treated. We want to roll out the red carpet for you. And I don't care and I've told this to so many of our brides, I don't care that you hired me to be the photographer. You need a cup of coffee, you're stressing out, Dutch Brothers, Starbucks is down the street. You don't need me for a second. Okay, I will go get you the cup of coffee, because it's their day at the end of the day. And
that's great. That's awesome.
I want them to have a good memory. I don't want them to be pulling their hair out, and we try to take as much stress off of them as possible. And if we can get them in front of the cameras and forget we're there, I mean, we also like to call our photography storybook photojournalism, because we're not just the candid photographers. We'll do the fine art portraits, but our photography, because there's 2 of them, it tells a story, so that people that aren't there or couldn't make your wedding, it tells exactly how it went, from the getting ready to the walking down the aisle, to the nervous moments, to the tears in dad's eyes, to the tears in the bride's eyes, the first look, the reactions. I want it documented. And it's just something that is magical, and I want them to have a good day. And I want all of the vendors, I want to know that my vendors, and we do a lot of coordination, my vendors, my florists, everybody is all on the same page.
And oftentimes do is we'll get together with our vendors, and we'll go, okay, we're going to do a big photo shoot, and you know, everybody kind of pitches in, you know, nobody gets paid anything, and we get a cake artist and the person that does the dresses and the flowers and the model and the location, the whole thing. And we just all kind of come together as a team, and we really see how well we work together too, which is great.
That's just, I think that's just wonderful. You guys, everything, this is just gold. Nez Nation, please leave comments, ask some questions. Don't be afraid to chime in here if you have any. I mean, listen to Cassandra and David. I think this is like, not only is this like business 101, it's human 101, really. I mean, just, I love what you said, Cassandra, about, you know, the sort of ethics, you know, treating people the way you want, do unto others as you'd have them do unto you. Absolutely. And that's kind of how I feel too. It's like, I mean, well, not kind of, it's definitely how I feel. I mean, and I wanted to ask you about this because this is something interesting related to like a client business, a service business. You know, where do you draw the line? Because sometimes it's like, I always want to go above and beyond. And I always want, because somebody told me long ago when I was first starting out that, you know, if they have a good experience, think about this, if they have a good experience with you, right, they're going to go on with their day. And somebody's going to say like, hey, Rick, how was your day? And if they had a good experience with you, what are they going to say? They're going to say, well, you know, I just got done talking to Professor Nez. He helped me with my, you know, my resume, my LinkedIn profile, and my strategy. And boy, it was awesome. Or he could say, right, you know, I just had a shitty day. I just hung out with this dude, Professor Nez. He sucked, right? Like I always try to go above and beyond for my clients, but there is a line that you need to draw. Do you guys like, how do you guys vet? How do you guys vet your clients? Do you mind if I ask that?
Well, you want to start?
Because sometimes it's hard to say no, isn't it? Like you don't want to say no, but sometimes you have to.
What we do is one thing we've learned is we want to get people out to, we want to meet the clients first. We've done some.
Okay, cool.
We just, you know, chatted on Facebook, or she chatted on Facebook with them, and we did the wedding from there. But we want to meet the couple, and we want them to meet us, and we just want to make sure that we're all a good fit. And you know, if it doesn't mesh, it doesn't mesh. But I don't think we've ever said no.
Interesting.
But we definitely want to let them know what to expect and what kind of people we are. And everybody's different, you know. Sometimes a couple wants to have crazy fun photos, and sometimes they're like, no, we just want to, you know.
Yeah. Serious. Yeah, of course.
From my perspective, I do vet the bride and the groom, and whether it's through social media, whether it's a destination wedding or not, I at least require my brides to open up their social media accounts to me and the grooms. And the main reason for that is I want to see who they are as a family, how they interact with their family members. Do they have any kids? Who's close to them? Who's their friends?
She stalks them.
Yeah.
So the lesson is.
Yeah, but the main purpose is I want to get to know them as a couple. I want to see who they are so that I can properly push them to their limits. And what I mean by that is whether they want the fine art portraits, they're very romantic, very late-due, subdued, or if they're this fun, get crazy type of crowd, but maybe they're a little camera shy. Yeah. I want to see what my boundaries are. And as far as clients and drawing the line, there always is a time to say no. There definitely is. We most certainly have. And
you said we didn't.
Wait a minute. I sense some dissension already. The partners need to reconvene. Dave, you remind me of me. Dave, you remind me of me when I'm with my wife, and I have some questions about a husband-wife business. But you remind me, Dave. I'm like, what? We do? We don't? I mean, have you learned, Dave? Now I've been married for 8 years. Have you at this point, Dave, just pretty much learned to just say yes a lot and just nod your head, or no? I try. Yeah, Cassandra, I think, if I may, what I hear you saying is that you're doing everything possible to serve the clients the best way that you can. And what I like to do is I usually like to try to if I can't meet them in person, I love video conferencing. Dave, we were talking about technology. I love this technology. It's allowed me to literally work from home and earn a pretty substantial living coaching clients. But I like to get on the phone with them. I do have a written proposal too, but I like to get on the phone with them because I find, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, that if I don't feel like I can mesh well with you, I like the word you use there, Dave. if I can't mesh well with you, I'm not going to want to put my best foot forward and do the best I can. And early in my career, you know, when you're on the climb, you just say yes to everybody, even if they're complete jerks. And let's be honest, there's some clients out there that just you should not be working with. They're complete jerks. And just to not kind of denigrate anybody, it could just be they're just in your perspective. Okay. They're probably not jerks to other people, but in your perspective. And I'll just, you know, say it on my behalf. But like, you know, when you're on the climb, you just say yes to everybody. I feel like I've gotten to a point now, I only want to work with people, you know, knock on wood, you know, hopefully everything stays, you know, strong, but I only want to work with people who I really feel like not only do I have to like working with them, do I have to feel like we're compatible, but that I can best serve them. Otherwise, you know, the money is, if it's just about the money, and I can't wait to hear your thoughts on this. If it's just about the money, it's going to be poor work, I feel like. And don't get it twisted. Like, I live in Southern California. My wife likes Louis Vuitton purses. Money's important, Dave. Money's important. So I'm not saying like dismiss the money, but yeah, man, when money is in the foreground of my thoughts, it just ends up being bad boogie. It just doesn't seem to be. What are your thoughts on that, guys?
Well, going back to what we said about saying no to clients, yeah, okay, I'm thinking now we have. I think.
Are you changing your story, Dave? Are you already revising your story live?
No, but I think what I was thinking initially is when we get people actually to come out the house for consults, they've already been vetted to a certain point, and we don't say no to that point.
Yeah.
And she generally handles the pre-vetting, if you will. But there have been clients that continuously ask for more and more things, and you do have to draw the line. And I just recently, we had a client like that, and I just realized, and I was talking to Cassie, and we just both realized no matter what we did, she was never going to be happy.
Oh,
so
I've had those.
Her to a couple other places that were more specialized than what she was looking for.
It's kind of like, I used to be a facial plastic surgery nurse, and there's some of those patients, and they're going to ask for things that aren't going to make your name look good. And you don't want to have your name on these certain things. It's either not your specialty, or what they're asking for is just not going to look good, and you know it. Yeah. And there's always somebody out there where you're holding and waving money that will do it. And as bad of an example as it is, if you look at Hollywood and you look at certain actresses and actors and how they've aged, you can tell the ones that went to great surgeons and ones that knew what they wanted or thought they wanted and had the money and found somebody to do it. And I, just like the plastic surgeon I used to work for in California, we don't want to put our name on an inferior product. We don't.
Well said.
Yeah, we don't want that as our image. Well, I mean, if they go,
I love the way you said that.
Yeah, look what Monroe Photography did. Look what they did, and if it's not our prize, our most possession, as bad as it sounds, we're gonna lose work for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And as far as the money goes, I just want to say I'm not trying to earn brownie points with this one, but I've got a wife here that is so unmaterialistic, it's not even funny. She doesn't care about name brands or anything.
Can you clone yourself, Cassandra, please? Because that is a rarity. No, I'm kidding.
Taking care of, we've got 3 kids. It's all about taking care of the kids, making sure they've got a roof over their head and
awesome.
Food in their tummies. And we're trying to get to a point where my mom can retire and live with us and everything. So
that's great.
That really is fortunate. And with that being said, some clients that we meet with, we understand they might not have the budget for a certain package that they really want, but they're just an amazing couple, or they're a young couple, or they've got a great story. You know, we could fiddle the numbers a little bit.
Yeah.
There's somebody, some people that we just know that they're going to be so appreciative, and they're, let's do it. Because
that's awesome.
Isn't that almost as important as
yes,
is doing something for somebody? It's like when you do something for your kids, you and they say thank you. It means more than anything.
Yeah. How old are your kids again, guys?
We have a 16-year-old daughter, a 14-year-old daughter, and a 5-year-old son.
Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, now I know why all your hair's leaving you, Dave, because I'm growing bald as we speak because of my kids.
I knew I should have worn a hat.
Hey, at our age, Dave, you know, do looks really even matter anymore at our age? It doesn't. I mean, I barely know what I look like when I leave the house. But I mean, like I told you guys about my daughter. You have a 5-year-old son, so you're still in that era. You know, I mean, like so my daughter will be 4 at the end of August. My son's 5.5. Oh my God, they never told you. They never told us it was going to be this hard. Like everybody, I mean, I actually make fun of people who like complain about newborns. I don't know if you guys get this. I'm like, you're complaining about a newborn. Okay. Newborns literally just eat and crap and sleep, and they're immobile. They're not mobile. They just, I think newborns are like super easy. And Cassandra was so sweet because you know, some of you know who are watching now, my daughter, oh my God, it's unbelievable. 1 second we're having the time of our lives. I'm being goofy, stupid dad, tackling them on the bed. I turn around for 2 seconds and Sammy bumped into Nora, and Nora hurls onto her literally in the worst like visual you can imagine, landing on her neck, throws up like 4 times like that, which my wife, the shriek that came out of my wife's mouth, I mean, I get the hairs on the back of my neck are rising right now. Like every parent's worst nightmare, paramedics, firefighters, thank God, again, knock on wood. Oh, you can actually hear that one. Everything's okay and she's fine. All the tests were negative, but oh my goodness gracious. Like it's unbelievable. It's just, this is what I tell new parents. I'd love your thoughts on this, Cassandra and David. I say, okay, there's joy and there's pain. Okay. The joy outweighs the pain, but the pain is a close second. But I mean, don't get me wrong. I love my kids and I live and die and eat and sleep and breathe and sweat for my kids and my wife. And I feel very lucky. I love the way you talked about Cassandra, Dave. I feel the same way. Like my wife is my rock. Like I would literally be lost at sea without my wife.
Yes.
And this leads to my next question. But before we get to that, because I want to ask about husband-wife business. Like a lot of people have tried that and have been really unsuccessful. A lot of people have actually advised, do not go into business with your family. So I want to ask that question. But before we get to that question, Dave and Cassandra and Dave, tell those who are watching and on the replay and watching live, what would you tell somebody who's thinking about going into photography, somebody who thinks they're a photographer? What are like some 3, 4, 5 things you need to understand if you're ever going to think about doing this? What would you tell them? Just to kind of wrap up that segment on photography, because I love your mindset. I love your approach. But what would you, go ahead. Sorry, Dave.
I was going to say, if you live in the Portland area, don't.
Really? Really? Okay. Don't even think about it. Don't even think about it. Competition.
I'm kidding.
I know. We know you're kidding.
Insurance.
Ooh.
Insure your photography equipment.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Important.
Insure in case anybody trips over your light stands. Make sure you're incorporated if they do trip over your light stands. Protection. And make sure that you always have your clients' interests at heart. And if you're going into this business for the money, I hate to tell you, when you're building your portfolio and everything else, you're making way below minimum wage. The amount of time that sometimes that he'll spend in front of a picture, making sure that it's perfect. Not that I don't want him to. You'd be surprised. Every single wedding photo we take, which also makes us a little bit different, he airbrushes. It's not just the bride, it's not just the groom, it's mom, it's dad, it's that baby in the background. It's all color corrected, it's all everything. And when you put your heart and soul to something, if you're doing photography for the money, it's not the right reason.
Yeah, if you're doing a portrait of a couple, you're going to spend thousands of dollars on camera and lenses, and you're going to make sure the lighting is perfect. Take the time to remove the pimple on somebody's forehead. We see so many photographers that just leave things like that. And it's like, you spend all this time and money and getting the right angle and doing, but it's something like that the customer is going to notice first. They're not going to sit there and, oh, wow, look at the way well, they might, but I mean, they're going to see the pimple.
Yeah. The blemishes.
Our goal is we want people to look at their photos and be like, wow, I look great.
Right.
And not necessarily know that we did anything, unless they're sitting there going, wait a minute, I thought I had a pimple there. But yeah, it
should be airbrushed to enhance their natural
Was
beauty.
the question about photography or was it about business?
It was about
if anybody who's thinking about anybody besides the business aspects, which I love that you guys are like, the way that you guys have been, communicating how you run your business, to me is just awesome. Like, I love it. I think it's so perfect strategy, perfect approach, humbling approach. But more so, I'm curious, people who think they're photographers, what would make, what in your view, what in your opinion, what is considered like a photographer? Because this is what I want to dispel. People think photography is easy. They think that I can just pick up a smartphone and be a photographer. And
Right.
I think you guys are the exact epitome of why that's not true. It takes energy, work, training, effort, right?
I've looked at it. It does. It really, really does. And the key to photography is it's all about light. Photo means light. And it
how's my lighting right here, guys? Am I good?
How far is that?
I'm asking for it now. I'm totally asking for it. These are just cheap soft boxes. I'm not even. I look like a schlemiel.
Yeah. But the key is to be able to, every situation calls for something different. And going back to what Cassandra was saying earlier about,
what's her name?
Some people get confused. It's like Cassie, Cassandra.
Yeah.
So being able to go into a situation like I'm shooting horse races, you're going to shoot that completely different than a portrait. So you want to learn how to use the dials on the camera. And
nice.
The number one thing you want to learn how to do is get that camera out of auto mode and get it into what's called manual mode. Right. And you'll learn how to control the ISO, which is the sensitivity, the light sensitivity, and the shutter speed, which is how fast somebody's moving fast. I mean, we've all seen blurry pictures of kids running around, right?
Yeah.
You crank up the shutter speed or change the aperture where you get more of a blurry background. And these are all things that the camera doesn't know what you want to do. It just kind of robotically looks at the situation and guesses. And I think once you can start practicing with that and making it look good, is because there's a jump when you go from auto to manual, your pictures are not going to look as good.
Right.
But get to a point where they start looking better. And that's what a photographer is somebody that can capture just a magic moment and any kind of a moment, as opposed to just picking up and taking a picture.
In any kind of lighting situation, I think a true photographer is an any light situation photographer, and there's a new craze going out there, and it's called natural light photography. I want a natural light.
It's a very old.
I want a natural light photographer.
Yeah.
Well, that's great if you've got natural light, but at the same time, what if there's a shadow? What if there's a rain cloud? What if it's a dark inside of the barn?
Right.
That natural light photographer is not going to be experienced with the flashes, the diffusers, the soft boxes, the beauty lights, the stuff, and it may break the whole entire memory experience. Those pictures may be lost.
Yeah, I refer to us as available light photographers. We'll use artificial light. I mean, we're both using artificial light right now, right? What would this look like if we're using natural light?
Yeah, exactly.
And I don't know, like I was in film school before. I don't know anybody that shoots with just natural light when they're making a movie or a TV show or anything like that. You have to use what's available.
Right.
But yeah, that's definitely, natural light is wonderful. There's some people that could do some amazing things with it, but it's not a one type thing that fits everything.
I love it. You guys are just rocking it. This is such a great, I'm so happy to talk to you guys. Seriously.
Oh, it's
great value.
class. This is great.
I feel like I want you to know, Dave, I'm giving you a hard time, Dave, but I only kid people I love. I want you to know that, because I can already tell if you and me met, you know, in different, we'd be buds, you know. This is like, I can't wait to meet you guys in person. I know that day will come, because you guys
double someday.
Okay, cool. Yes. Animal style. I want animal style.
I told you, you're a professor at my brother's, you know, college. So he went to
cool.
Fullerton in graphic arts.
Yeah.
So
Awesome. Very cool.
in Orange County area. So we know where you're
No, we're
at.
gonna have lunch or dinner, or you guys got to come over to the house anytime. You guys bring your kids. We'll have a blast. We'll kick up the barbecue. We'll hang out. We'll talk. I want you guys to meet my wife. Yeah.
We'll bring the car around and take us to the airport, and we'll take our private jet down there.
There you go. Perfect. So I want to. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. I'm down. I'm totally down. So here's the $1 million question. Here's the $1 million question, because I've been getting a lot before you guys got on here, and I did some research, and I checked. And by the way, everybody watching, don't forget, because you've got to go check out, if they just Google Monroe Photography, right? Is it .com, Cassandra?
MonroePhoto.com.
Yeah, that's right. MonroePhoto.com. They're going to, by the way, Cassandra's going to leave all the links in the comments. You got to go check out their stuff. Just awesome, mind-bending stuff. Great photography, great colors, great photos, awesome stuff. You got to check it out. But here's the $1 million question, because I was thinking to myself, like, because this is something like, as my business grows, as I'm trying to scale, as every business wants to do, right? Every business wants to grow. You know, my wife, you know, right now is a stay-at-home mom, and she's getting her real estate license, and she's going into that, you know, because the kids are getting older. But, you know, as I'm continuing to grow, I'm thinking, like, because I love her so much, and she's 10 million times smarter than I am, she would be such a perfect, you know, partner to have in my business. And I'm thinking about that, but then you hear all these rumors, you hear all these, like, oh God, if you do business with family, it's an absolute disaster. But you guys seem to be pulling that off. What's your trick? What's your tactic? How do you guys do it? And what do you guys think it needs to have in order to be successful if you're going to go into business with somebody like your wife or immediate family?
Plenty of scotch.
And ladies and gentlemen, answer of the evening goes to Dave Monroe. That is the answer of the evening. Ladies and gentlemen, let's make this a drinking game now, okay? This is the most fun I've had on a live stream in a long time. You guys rock, man. You guys are awesome.
In all honesty, you guys
Yeah.
have to share a mutual goal, a mutual love, and a mutual passion.
I love how Cassandra is our voice of reason, Dave. You see that? This is how it is with my wife, too. If it was me and Dave, if it was Dave and I, Cassandra, this show would be complete train wreck.
Yeah,
Cassandra,
that's why I'm down in the dungeon airbrushing photos. And
all right, Cassandra, be our voice of reason, please.
Like I was saying, just the same passion, the scotch, the same passion, the love of the art, and the being able to not only be able to share in the love of each other's work, but also to be able to look at certain things and trust and love your spouse enough to take constructive criticism and know that it's not derogatory and not meant to be derogatory. And I think a lot of when families work together, you always get into this mode where you start having these voices go off in your head. And what did they mean by that? Oh my gosh, I can't believe he said that. And having these voices play this negative record per se, and jumping to the wrong conclusions. And I'm not saying that we've never done that with each other, but it's knowing that we love each other enough that once things settle down sometimes, that we probably didn't mean to hurt the other one, and to be able to step out and step back and kind of discuss and be able to be an open communication. Like I said, it's not easy, but to know that there's a reason why you fell in love with the other person.
we are such good friends, I think, and that's the core of our relationship. And when you have 3 kids, you don't have as much alone time with the other person. And these are
God
together.
This is a date.
You know, where we go to a wedding and it's like, hey, it's a wedding, you know, and you spend this time together. And
it's a date with our cameras.
We bicker sometimes on set. It's kind of funny, but like, I don't know how many times I'll have the perfect shot set up, the couple's pose just right, the lighting's going, you know, God's standing there going, go for it. I mean, and she jumps right in the shot. Hold on a second, I gotta fix this hair. And well, that's pretty much that.
You know how hard hair is to Photoshop in Lightroom?
You don't Photoshop. That's a whole other story.
You know what?
That's a whole other. We'll do that on the next stream. Oh my God, you guys are just awesome. You have a #1 fan in me, man. I am
Yeah, we love your show.
You guys rock. I love your energy. I love your rapport. I love the way you guys are so easygoing. I think we have way too much seriousness. And here's the thing that I always say is don't take yourself so seriously. Not take life seriously, but just don't take yourself so seriously. And I love that attitude and I love that approach. I think one of the most common threads or common denominators in people who are really happy and not just monetarily, even though that's huge, but just happy in both their professional and personal is that sense of like inner trust, and they know who they are and they don't have any bones about it. And they just try to enjoy every moment. You guys really personify that. Just awesome, awesome stuff. So I have to have you guys on again because you guys are just too awesome. So what would you like to leave with as we sort of wrap up the show? I usually ask my guests, like I have these, like I've been trying to do these like 3 questions of like, you know, actually it hasn't been 3 questions. It's been like 2 questions. Like what are some things that inspire you and who inspires you? And also what's the one thing that you've learned in your life that you'd like to share with the NEZNATION audience? But you know, we've had so much fun. I think we've tackled all of that. If you guys want to, if you guys want to answer that or anything else you'd like to leave the audience with. I mean, haven't these guys been great? Give us some emojis in the comments there. Give us some thumbs up. Give it up for Cassandra and David. They are just awesome. Yeah. Put a big smiley face with one of those big cheeks on for Dave, and give us some thumbs up, some hearts. Give a big heart for Dave, and let us know what you guys think. Because you're watching on the replay, you got to watch this again because really they're dropping some serious, not only just photographic knowledge, but I mean just business and life. I mean relationships. It seems to me the common denominator of the show has been trust. Earn the trust of your clients. Earn the trust of your partners and commit to that trust and just really follow through. I love what you guys are saying. And I feel like it really resonates with what I try to get out and what I try to get across with my content and the work I do with my clients. So kudos to you guys. Cassandra, Dave, what inspires you? What do you want to leave the NEZNATION audience with? What are some things that maybe would be just some diehard kind of beautiful way to kind of end it that you want to leave or share? Any wisdom, knowledge? Dave, I know you used to be Socrates back in the day, right, Dave? I can tell you were a philosophical dude. But I mean, what inspires you? What inspires you, Dave? Seriously.
Well, what I will say is it's very important. If you have a passion for something, follow it.
Yeah.
Stick with it. And leave the negative people behind. Don't let anybody tell you you can't do something you want to do. I mean, as long as it's legal, you know. But I mean,
don't. In other words, subtitle: don't shoot them.
Right.
Even though you want to, even though you feel like you want to.
There's gonna be people that come along and tell you, oh, you know, this and that, you know. And we've had people tell us, oh, you should have done this in your photo, you should have done that, and it's like, you know, and they were rude about it. And it's like you just gotta, you know, say, well, maybe there's a negative something in that what they said, and positive about it. But don't let people tell you can't do something. Just
I actually did. You know, what's really interesting that you say that, Dave, is, and I think maybe Cassandra saw it. I did a stream because my whole YouTube channel and my whole thing is that I'm a reminder. I went through like debilitating depression and anxiety as a young man, and my whole channel and focus has been on the dude that lives inside your head, whose favorite word is can't. And you got to give that dude the pink slip. You don't want to listen to that dude. That's really the only thing getting in your way of success. And I love what you said, negative people. And I talked about this on my stream, like people who just hate to hate for hate's sake are usually people who are just in like severe pain. And I actually, like at the epicenter, I mean, nobody hates for no reason, right? Like nobody hates anybody who gets enjoyment out of hate is usually classified as a sociopath, right? There's usually pain underneath there. Like they got some shit going on in their life. It's just bad boogie. And I love the way you said that. I'm trying to teach that to my kids. I know you guys really instill that too. It's those people are going to come. And actually the more you grow and succeed, I find, I don't know about you guys, it's almost like they come out of the woodworks. Like the haters start to grow too. Yeah. And so you're going to get more of it. And maybe there's a good reason for that. Maybe there's a really good reason for that. Maybe it's a sign that you're doing something right. Who knows? Just looking at it from a different perspective. Cassandra, what inspires you and what do you want to leave the Nez Nation audience with?
I'm kind of a nurturer, and it's why I'm a nurse too, is human nature inspires me. The love that people can have in their hearts for family, for their passions, for things that drive them is what inspires me, no matter what it is. Nice. I mean, it's just that soul. Sometimes it can be the pain that they're feeling. It can be the love that they have for another individual. It's that, and capturing those moments truly inspires me. And I want to make sure that I can leave those for their future generations. And I don't know,
that's pretty inspiring.
I think Dave's either Dave's boozed up or he's in a trance. One of the two. I love it.
With her, I'm always in a trance.
He doesn't really drink.
That's great.
He doesn't really drink.
I'm teasing. Yeah. I think
I go back, to the first day we met. It just.
Speaking of which, your friend that you had on, Ryan David, is writing a song for us.
Oh, really?
Yes.
No way. Ryan, are you watching right now? That's so cool. Oh yeah, I had Ryan David Dwyer. Yeah, he's an amazing musician. He's composing a song for you guys?
Yes.
Composing a song about our relationship, and we heard the first rough draft tonight.
Wow.
It takes a lot to even put tears. Unfortunately, when you've been through a lot, to actually have tears come into your eyes, he touched us so much.
That's awesome.
Brought us back to that moment that we first saw each other.
It doesn't take me much to cry, but yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing. Yeah.
Oh wow, that's great. I got to hear that. That sounds. I mean, normally I would say honestly, I am like, first of all, like I'm blown away by you two. I mean this sincerely. Like you guys are awesome. Like you guys are like. You guys are doing like amazing stuff. And just the energy between you two, the way that David's looking at Cassandra and the way Cassandra's looking back at David, Nez Nation. That's what it's. You just ruined it, David. Okay, strike that. Let's do a revisions. Take two. No, but I mean, seriously, like you guys are inspired. You guys I can't say enough. You guys are awesome. I'm so stoked to have you guys on the show. And normally, normally I would be really shocked. Like I'd be like, whoa, somebody wrote a song about your relationship. Like that sounds kind of mushy, but honestly, it makes sense. Like after hanging out with you guys, I say they should write more songs about it, because in a day and age, in all seriousness, in a day and age where like people are kind of like, there's a lot of talk on the institution of marriage, and there's a lot of talk about, staying single and just being more independent and all this. And like, don't rely on anybody. Just do your, okay, that's cool. That's great. But like, I gotta be like, for somebody who is like violently selfish, especially as a young man, like if it wasn't for my wife and like that partnership, I would be like in a ditch. I truly believe that with all my heart. My wife is my savior, and I live and die for her and the kids. And I sense that, like, I know Dave would lay down in traffic for his family, and Cassandra's love for Dave is so imminent and so apparent. Like you guys should start a live stream. This is my advice to you. I do live video marketing consulting. You guys should do a weekly, just kind of like a couples vlog or journal of just what's happening in your life, how you're maintaining your relationship, what are the important aspects of me. I think you guys would crush it. Do a Facebook Live stream. You could kind of plug in your photography business, like a little scroll underneath, a little lower third, and just like literally just be you, just be authentic. Here's the only criteria. You don't have to be like an expert or anything like that. You just have to be real. That's it. And you guys are like the real of the real. You guys would crush it. Don't you guys agree, Nez Nation? Ryan's watching. Beth says, oh, cool. Beth Schilling. Hi, Beth. Beth says, love this. So cool. Exclamation point. I want to go on with these guys for like 5 hours. Yeah. Oh, man. I feel so blessed. And how did I meet Cassandra? I met Cassandra through, it was Ryan's show, wasn't it, Cassandra? See? Ryan, it's because of you. It's because of you this is happening.
Thanks, Ryan.
But like, you know, this is it, man. Yeah. We can all blame you, Ryan. But the power of social, man, like the power of connection, the power of networking. Like, I mean, think about it, guys. After my meeting, and just to kind of give it some context, yeah, they would see. Ryan says they would crush it. Anytime anybody, let's say a client of mine, yeah, I'm what's wrong, man? Like, Rick, you look like you're kind of bummed out. What's up? Yeah, I'm trying to find a damn thing for my wedding or my cousin's wedding. And I've been calling all these people and go, dude, I know the perfect people for you. Like I am going to be a lifetime marketer, a lifetime advocate for Cassandra and Dave's business, because it's not about, here's the thing. And Cassandra, Dave, I want your thoughts on this. It's not about the business. It's about the people running the business. Who's behind the sign? Who's behind the logo? Who's behind the brand? That's everything. I think that's, especially as a small business. If you're Coca-Cola, if you're McDonald's, I still think it's all about the people, but you may be able to get away with being a jerk a little more readily. But if you're a small business, people like me, the NEZNATION audience is really consists of a lot of small businesses. You know, it's all about the people, and those are the kind of people I want to work with. And you guys just are awesome. I love it. Love it.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for being.
So guys, having an absolute blast, and a big hug, group hug. What's going on? Let's have,
ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have our very first digital group hug. I would seriously, Dave, I'm not this manly. I would totally hug you. When I see you, Cassandra, watch this. When I meet Dave in person, I'm going to give this dude the biggest bear hug he's ever had.
That's
like,
okay.
I love you, Dave. I seriously love you. Dave, you're awesome. You are awesome.
You're awesome.
A shout out to Southern Californians. If you hire us for your wedding and provide In-N-Out, you get a discount.
Yeah. And by the way, I was going to say this too.
We want.
They accept currency in In-N-Out double doubles.
we actually have a friend, caterers, Vasquez Catering. Let's throw them out there. They're awesome. They were down there and they actually drove up In-N-Out to us about a couple months ago.
At 2 a.m.
Yeah, at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
Yeah, it was cold. It was sitting on the back seat, but boy, it was amazing.
It was a great way to wake up at 2 a.m. and have an In-N-Out.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That's the best time to have one.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever worked a wedding that catered In-N-Out, or that's just too cheap?
No, not here. Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, honestly, if it was me, now I know my wife would have never agreed to it, but if it was up to me, I would say if somebody was like, okay, this is the only thing you have control over in your wedding, I'd be like, In-N-Out, man. Let's cater In-N-Out. I would love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get Taco Bell, so why not?
Yeah, exactly. Well, hey, I just want to say, just to remind everybody who's watching, and it's so funny, the show is usually an hour long. We've gone well over that mark. And I feel like it's only been 5 minutes. I had like a list of things I wanted to ask these guys. So guess what? I'm going to go ahead and throw out the invitation. We're going to have to do a part 2 of this one in the near future, because these guys rock. I want to just throw out an open invitation, Cassandra and Dave. Anytime you guys are up for it or have time, I would be honored. I mean, I truly mean this. I'd be honored to have you guys on the show again. Seriously. So anytime you're ready for that, you just let me know. You have an open invitation to be on NEZNATION Live. I joke around all the time, but I'm dead serious when I say I want to be the Jay Leno of Facebook Live. I feel like I'm that good. I feel like I could. I'm better. I love, you heard it from Dave here first, folks. You heard it from Dave. I'm better. But I mean, I have so much fun doing this. I love meeting new people and in connecting with people and just bringing their story on here, because I always learned, I tell my students all the time, the power of conversation is the ultimate learning tool. And this unbelievable couple, the way that they've been communicating, the way they've been telling their story and their background and their relationship has been bar none. I mean, this has been the most fun I've ever had on a show. I mean that. And we've done over 20 episodes. So kudos to you guys. And I just want to remind everybody watching, don't forget, Cassandra, you're going to do this, right? She's going to leave all the contact information in the comments below. If you know anybody, or if you yourself are getting engaged or have any kind of event, because you guys do more than weddings, any event where photography is needed, I can't think of anybody better on the entire planet than Cassandra and Dave. So these are the people you want to go to. So she's going to leave all the contact information. Don't forget to share this out. If you thought that this show was valuable, please share this out. Share it to your groups. Share it to your other profile pages. Share it with your friends. Tag some people who may need to hear this, because this was some serious value, this show. And don't forget to hit that like button on my business page so that you can always get notified when we go live. So on behalf of Cassandra and Dave Monroe, I am your host, Professor Nez, wishing you an unbelievable 4th of July weekend. Happy 4th, everybody. Thank you again to Cassandra and Dave, and we will see you guys next time. This is NEZNATION Live, and we are out. Thank you, guys.